Welcome to Beth's Happy Home. We had a fun tradition in our family that on Sunday nights we would depart from our usual meal schedule and have something that was a little bit unusual. And we would have our main meal in the middle of the day on Sundays after we got home from church. And then often one of the favorites of the kids was making pudding. So today I'm making a pie filling, and so I'm going to make it a little bit thicker just so it'll be more suitable for a pie filling, but I'll tell you it's a very slight difference that you make in if you're making a pie filling or just making a Sunday night pudding. So you start with 4 cups of milk, and you want this to yield about 4 10-ounce servings is what this will yield. And ordinarily a serving for pudding is only half a cup, but I've never known anyone that was satisfied with a half a cup of pudding. So after you have the 4 cups of milk in your saucepan, put 4 eggs in. And after this, you're going to want to mix it really well. So now that these are all blended in, and you know I'm doing this very first because I don't want the liquid hot already when I add the eggs, because that will also make it so that they're likely to kind of cook instantly and make little chunks of the egg white. So that was 2/3 of a cup of sugar. I'll stir that in. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, because it's chocolate pudding is our favorite, and this is going to be a chocolate pie. And a half a teaspoon of salt. If you don't put the salt in there, it doesn't develop the flavor as well. Now this is the difference between pie filling and pudding. For pudding, I would use 4 level tablespoons of cornstarch. But for pie filling, I'm going to use 5 level tablespoons of cornstarch. 3, 4, and there's the 5th. Because the cornstarch will set it up so that you can slice the pie and the filling will hold together and be stiff enough to be served as a pie. And then 2 teaspoons rather of vanilla, and that's all there is to this. Stir it in real well over here. Of course, now you may know, but cocoa powder will not mix with cold ingredients or cold liquids, and cornstarch won't blend with hot ones. And so you put the cornstarch in while it's cold, and you can go ahead and add the cocoa powder at this stage, but don't expect it to be well blended until after you heat it up. And once you start heating it up, it'll blend right in. So we're going to put this on a medium-high heat, and then I'm going to stir it the whole time because I don't want it to scorch, and because it's going to be thickening up, it will thicken on the bottom first if you don't keep stirring it. Because it's a half a cup of the cocoa powder in ratio to 4 cups of milk, you can imagine this is going to be a pretty strong dark chocolate pie. And the kids, even now that they're all grown-up adults and have families of their own, when I go to visit them, they often will request that I make pudding on Sunday night, because it's one of those happy memories. Okay, it has been 4 minutes on this medium-high heat. I'm going to turn it down just a tad, and it's starting to get thick now. And once it starts to thicken, it will thicken pretty quickly. It'll start to bubble up, and you want to cook it boiling for about a minute, and that will just help it to set up. See that it's thick now. And then as it cools, since we're going to cool it completely to use it in a pie, it will thicken as it cools. If you're eating it as pudding, you want it more of a softer texture, and so it doesn't matter if you let it cool anyway. And my kids always love to eat it warm. And you can see the cocoa is completely incorporated. It didn't, there are no lumps or clumps. And it has a smooth texture. As I was saying about adding the egg whites, because we added them when the liquid was cold, it didn't make the little chunks that the egg white might make if you tried to add it to something hot. And so that is all there is to making that filling. Now I'm going to put it into the pie crust. All right, you can see this pie crust is actually made out of sugar cookie dough. So it's going to be a very tasty crust all by itself. And that's one of the reasons why you can get by with only 2/3 of a cup of sugar in the filling mixture. Okay, now I'm going to just let this cool in the crust, and then I will dress it with some whipped cream once it's completely cool. In the meantime, I'm going to take the rest of this pudding and put it into a few little serving dishes. We're having company tonight, and they're going to have a big assortment of desserts that they can choose. Okay, this is our taste test for the chocolate pie made with sugar cookie crust and the wintertime fruit pie. It's more like a tart that's also made with a cookie crust. So let's try the chocolate one first and tell me what you think. Oh, I should introduce our taste tester. This is my son Thomas. This is my daughter-in-law Marseille. This is my friend Felicia. Don't make any faces. Oh,
that's good.
what do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
Anything?
What kind of pie did you say it was?
It's chocolate pie,
Okay.
but the crust is kind of the thing that's different about it. So,
yeah, the crust does taste more like a cookie. It's crisper and
yeah.
Like usually chocolate pie crusts, they're kind of like almost feel wet or like soggy, but this is not. This is crispy.
So the cookies stay crisp.
Yes.
That's good.
Yep.
It's buttery. I like it.
Oh, good. I'm glad you did. Glad you do. Hey, thanks for watching.